All right, good morning, everyone. I just finished an adjudication dispo. I have some things to wrap up, so please bear with me. I'm here, but I need to finish up that. I'll be back just a couple minutes. Lobby on.
Oh, yeah.
No picture, what's that? It's on. Setting against the 2-box limit. All right, so this is a detention docket for Friday, February 26th, 2021. It complies with the Texas Supreme Court Emergency Order number 33 related to the coronavirus. We are not conducting in-person proceedings. We're conducting these remotely through Zoom. And in order to comply with the open courts provision of the Texas Constitution, we are broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube so the public has meaningful access to what occurs inside a public courtroom. I'd like to remind everyone this is still a court proceeding, so we expect people to behave appropriately for court. So that means please be centered on the camera so we can see your face. To refrain from having moving backgrounds like ceiling fans or maybe a moving car. Also, please do not have a bright light behind your head as that tends to shadow out your face. Please behave appropriately for court. Do not walk around, move around within your apartment or a walking trail or such. No part of this proceeding may be recorded or broadcast. Violations of this order are punishable by contempt of court of up to 6 months in the Tarrant County Jail and a $500 fine. Let's go ahead and start with Amari Brooks. Mr. Brooks?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. Well, first of all, Lindsay's iPhone, you need to be on camera. If not, I will remove you from these proceedings.
Good morning, Your Honor.
There's no way to drop the accolade.
Okay, so Mr. Brooks, this is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you here or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. The attorney, Ms. Smith, is here present. Right, Amari, so you are level 1 outstanding, and you have been for almost 2 weeks now. That's right. This is the Arlington police officer that was off duty, that was robbed by 4 juveniles, allegedly. And you're currently on supervision out of Dallas County for unlawfully carrying a weapon, burglary of a vehicle, and you have 2 counts of robbery pending in Dallas County. So, Mr. Lewis, do you know anything about the Dallas County cases, where they are?
I do not know specifically where they are in the filing process. I can find out.
Yeah, let's find out. Mr. Brooks, just because you're on probation for a weapons-related offense, and you happen to find another weapon, and now you're involved in another weapons-related offense, and you have pending robbery cases, I'm very concerned about the safety of you and the public. I'm willing to release you to Dallas so you can take care of your business there, instead of just making you wait here for nothing to happen. But I'm not comfortable releasing you to the community pending this case. So, Ms. Smith, are you the attorney on the Dallas case? Ms. Smith? No, your connection's not good today.
Is it not coming? Am I not coming in?
Okay. Yeah, now you are.
Okay, sorry. I don't know. So no, Your Honor, because I'm not on the appointment reel in Dallas, I can't actually take the case unless I'm retained on it. I have reached out to probation in Dallas County. They are prepared to move forward with Amari's case out in Dallas, but I have not been in touch with the attorney as of yet, the Dallas attorney. So that's all the information I have right now.
Sure. Okay. Do we have a parent here for Mr. Brooks?
The
I
mom
sent the
contacted
Zoom
me.
link to both parents. I don't see either of their emails in the Zoom room, but they may be logging in from another account. I don't believe they're here though.
Okay, so Mr. Lewis, if you can reach out to your counterpart in Dallas and see if they want this child so they can proceed with the motion to modify probation or on the new offense. I'm okay releasing him to Dallas County so he can take care of his business there, but I do not want to release him to the community. All right. So
Yes, sir.
if they want to wait for us, then we'll just go ahead and hold him here. But if they want to go ahead and move forward, we'll release him to Dallas and have a DTA issued so then he gets released directly from Dallas back to us. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Thank you, Mr. Brooks.
Yeah.
All right. Jarris Brothers. Jarris Brothers. All right, Mr. Brothers, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm deciding whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. Ms. McGonigal, your attorney, has requested this hearing. All right, Ms. McGonigal, for what purpose did you request this hearing?
I requested this, Your Honor, because 2 weeks ago, Judge Porter had told Jarris that if he can maintain level 1 for 7 days, we could start having a conversation at that time, considering releasing him or keeping him in detention. Unfortunately, that 7 days was last week during the inclement weather, so we didn't have court. He had a detention hearing yesterday, and I had a previously scheduled appointment that I had to make, so I wasn't able to attend yesterday's detention hearing. So I scheduled this today because I would be present and just ask the court if we can have Jarris released. He is on level 1. He has maintained that beyond the 7 days that was initially discussed. He has court on the 12th for the assault charge. The 2 UCWs have been declined by the district attorney's office. And so we just would be asking that he be going home today on a monitor.
So he had finished probation for criminal trespass in 2018, then got probation again for failed to ID. In between, he got arrested for some theft, criminal mischief, terroristic threat, evading arrest. Ms. Paxton here.
I'm here, Your Honor.
All right, Patsy, what's your recommendation? What do you think?
Mom says he's been doing fine at home.
I'd ask how he's doing. What's your recommendation? Looking forward.
I think it would be good to give him a chance to be released on the EM.
Okay. We'll release him on EM. All right, so I'm going to tell you something, Mr. Brothers.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at your history, and your history is very consistent with the kids in here. Let's start with things that are small, and it goes on for years and years, and it's slowly getting more serious. And yours is the kind of history that would not surprise me that you come in here on a shooting or a homicide, all right?
Yes,
You may think you're different than the others, but what I'm seeing is really you're the same, right? You need to make better decisions, probably find a different set of friends, and stay on the right side of the law. Because I can tell you, like eventually when it comes to me on a more serious offense, it's not good. All right. So that's just my advice to you. If you choose to hang out with people that are smoking weed and breaking the law, you're going to end up back in here, and it's going to be a really frustrating situation for you. You've seen the kids back here that are kind of stuck here waiting for their trials. Their juvenile history is almost identical to yours. You just haven't made it as far along as they have. All right. So this is probably the time to make some hard choices in your life on what direction you're going. Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Brothers. Lauren
Thank you, Judge.
De La Rosa. For who? Brian Hemphill. Oh, for Lisa. Wait, so what are you saying?
There's a waiver.
There is a waiver.
Yes, being emailed to us. And he's actually doing assessment right now for Lisa.
So where's the waiver?
She's emailing it to us.
So we don't have a waiver. You're killing me. All right. So Lauren, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. And, you know, there was an out of custody detention. Is Lauren here? Oh, there she is. Okay. Yeah, Lauren, so you're on probation for aggravated robbery, and we set a detention. And so I committed you to Texas Juvenile Justice Department for a period of 8 years, and I gave you 5 years of probation, where you're telling me you're going to do everything you're supposed to do, and then you don't have to get committed. And we set a detention hearing for you yesterday, and you decided that you didn't want to get out of bed, so you skipped court. I just want to let you know, when you're on probation and the court tells you you have to show up for court, you have to show up for court. So since I feel like if I was to let you go, you would not show up for court, I'm going to go and detain you. Thank you, Lauren. Brian Hemphill. Is Lisa Herrick here?
Judge Kim, Mary told us that Brian Hemphill had waived. He's actually in assessment right now.
Okay, I mean, I don't have a waiver. So either I don't. If y'all can go ahead and get Brian.
All right, sir. Give me a
Thank
second.
you. So this is Brian Hyder then?
Yes.
All right, we'll wait for Brian Hyder. Or we'll do Brian
Present for
Hyder
Mr.
now.
Hyder, Your Honor.
All right.
Okay. Did I just give you one? What?
Jerry's brother's.
Your Honor, which kid are we doing next?
Brian Hyder.
Okay, thank you. Hyder.
All right, Mr. Hyder, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm making a decision whether to keep you here or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. Your attorney requested this hearing. Mr. Lewis, for what purpose did you request this hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. When we had our last detention hearing in front of Judge Terry, she asked me to investigate the Dallas issue. Subsequent to that, I hired an investigator and have tracked down as much as I can, which has led me to, it's basically on a detective's desk, has been since October. The detective, I've left several messages with him. It's either a law of parties to an aggravated robbery or assault is about all I've been able to gain information on. Someone told me there in Dallas that he was a party to the offense, and it's been under investigation since October, but that's all I've gotten.
So, but I mean, so Mr. Hyder here, he's a gang member. He's from Dallas County. He's in Fort Worth at the gun show carrying a pistol. And that's, yeah, I'm still not comfortable releasing him. I mean, this is, bring this criminal element and this level of violence to Tarrant County. I just have a problem. I mean, I understand, Mr. Lewis, you're doing this because Judge Terry asked you to find out information. I don't know why she did that, but for me, I'm just looking at it. You have a gang member that's in Tarrant County at the gun show trying to sell or buy weapons. And he's not even 18. I mean, he's 16 years old doing this. I just don't get it, but I have a problem with that. So, Mr. Hyder, I'm gonna let you know, I know you've been level 1-0 since February 10th, and that does mean something to me, but what it takes is a consistent pattern of behavior over a period of time before I'm comfortable releasing you. And this is really, when it comes to guns, that's where I really, really slow down. And you just have to understand, if it wasn't a gun thing, if it was a different type of offense, I'd probably be inclined to release you. The fact there was a firearm involved makes me very, very cautious when I release children from here. All right, that's just where I draw the line. All right, thank you, Mr. Hyder. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Jeremiah Johnson.
Sir, can I please speak? Can I please speak just once, please?
Sure.
Okay, last hearing on the way home, the Cedar Hill Police Department called me. They told me they don't have enough evidence as to why they labeled him as a gang member for us to go down to the municipal court system and have it lifted. I went down there 3 times and asked for evidence as to why they're labeling him as such. They have no evidence as to why. This was all, I believe, was set up. And
So it was, ma'am, so it was a setup for him to be at the Will Rogers Convention Center at a gun show carrying an AK-47 pistol.
I know I'm referring to the gang member situation, sir.
Well, I mean, that's even regardless, right? That's just one more aggravating factor for me. But at the end of the day, you have a 16-year-old boy carrying an AK-47 pistol in a public building here in Tarrant County. I have a problem with that. I mean, there's no excuse for that. And so, so all the other stuff aside, whether the Cedar Hill case is not going to go through, whether he's an actual gang member or not, it doesn't change the fact that he's walking around with a pistol in a public building in Tarrant County, in Fort Worth. Like that's where my big problem is. Like, I'm a big fan of guns, but that means mom and dad have to supervise him, teach him, train him. That's the kind of thing that I want to see. But kids just walking around with other kids carrying guns and pistols, that's why we have a problem in our society with people getting shot. All right.
I understand, sir. And if there's anything I can do, I will do everything in my power. If he messes up, you can take me in.
Mom, and
I will just take me in.
Right. And Mom, I know that you and I think Dad are showing up here every detention hearing. That's not lost on me. Okay? There's no question that your heart's in the right place and your desire for your son is in the right place. My concern is, I think your son's at the point where he's going to make his own decisions no matter what mom and dad tells him. And those are the most dangerous kids, or the ones that refuse to accept supervision. I'm certain that if you knew about him being in Fort Worth with an AK-47 pistol, you would not have approved of that. And that's the kind of thing I'm saying is Brian's going to do what Brian's going to do, regardless of what mom and dad say. And that's what scares me.
I definitely understand your reasoning, but I will do whatever I have to do to ensure that he stays in home. If we could do an ankle monitor, anything. It's just the 4 of us. I'm adopted. We have no family. I went through everything in life to teach them to do the right thing, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get him help, to make sure he does the right thing. And if he gets in trouble, I promise you, I get it, I understand. But please just give him a chance. He's never been in trouble. He's never been in juvenile. And nobody's given him an opportunity. You got to give the kid a chance, man.
Okay, so
please,
look,
I'm begging you.
I understand. And first of all, I don't have to give him a chance. All right. No one's entitled to a chance. Now, I will give him a chance. Right? I'm open to the idea of giving him a chance, but I don't have to.
I know.
So what you have to understand is that my concern is that he's not showing respect for you and your house rules. It's not whether you love him or not. It's not whether you're trying to provide him direction and supervision and guidance. My belief is that he just doesn't care. He's too smart for you, right? His attitude is in the wrong place. Because at the end of the day, there's no other explanation for him walking around in a public building in Fort Worth in a different county with an AK-47 pistol. So what it takes from me is for him to show me over a period of time that he can be respectful, that he can follow the rules, that I can trust and be released. That is not a quick process when these offenses are as serious as they are. And for me, as my own personal philosophy as a judge, is I draw the line when kids have guns. That's just where some judges have different standards. Some judges a bigger deal, some judges a lesser deal, but that's where I draw the line. I'm very hesitant to release kids when guns are involved. All right, the fact that your son didn't use the gun in a crime, like a robbery or shooting, that's in his favor, right? That's something I consider, but just merely possessing a firearm at 16 years old is a really big deal for me, okay? And that's why I'm just very slow on these decisions, because I feel like it is my responsibility, and the law says it's my responsibility, to protect the public. If he has access to that pistol on his own, which I'm sure you didn't know about, then I have no idea as soon as I release him, the day he gets out, he doesn't go and get another pistol. And we just don't know that.
He's not going to, can my husband,
Well,
can his father?
we don't know that because you were certain that he wasn't going to do it in the first place, right?
Sir, if he doesn't go anywhere, there's no way he can do that. I'm telling you, if you at least, I'm begging you, I'm pleading with you, please give him a chance.
I will. I will. He has to earn it. This is not by grace.
Almost a month, sir.
I beg your pardon?
He's been in here almost a month. He has never been in juvenile. Please, I'm begging and pleading with you.
Sometimes when your offense is serious enough, that just warrants you that you just end up staying here longer. And that's what it, with guns, that's where it stands for me.
But
And
sir,
I think the community in Tarrant County agree with me on this.
I totally agree with you, but I'm asking you to please trust me and let his mother and his father do the right thing.
No. So mom, this is not about trusting you. I absolutely trust you. What I don't trust your son. That's the thing. I don't trust his decision-making abilities. Okay.
I get that, sir, but he hasn't killed nobody. He hasn't shot nobody. There was no ammo in the gun. It was somebody else's gun. It wasn't even his. This happened in a gun show where the police gave him the gun back.
All right, so mom, now you're kind of pushing a different direction. Now you're making him the victim.
I'm just saying that
But you're making him the victim now. He's the poor kid that the police checked the gun and gave it back to him. He's the poor kid that somebody else gave him the gun. He's the poor kid. He is not the victim in this case. He is the wrongdoer making the wrong decision, what it appears.
And yes, sir. He's been locked up for almost a month. And believe me, I know he's learned his lesson. I know my child. It's just 4 of us. It's all we have.
And you may know your child, but I don't. Okay, mom? So he just has to prove to me. He doesn't have to prove to
He's
you.
been on good behavior the whole time. I'm begging you,
Mom,
please.
hold on. Okay. Look, he's supposed to be level 1 outstanding. You don't get credit for doing what you're supposed to do. He doesn't get bonus points for being level 1 outstanding. All that means he's following the rules, listening to instruction. He's not getting in fights. You don't get bonus points for that. I mean, he's supposed to be level 1 outstanding.
Sir, I'm
All
just
right, so
begging.
Brian, your hand is raised. If you have a question for me, I don't mind answering it, but I will tell you that if you want to tell me something, your attorney does want you to say anything. All right, so do you have a question for me or do you want to explain something to me?
Question.
A question, okay, what's your question?
May I please get home detention?
Not today. I mean, one day, but not today. I don't think you understand how serious the situation is. All right, I take guns and kids very, very seriously, more so than other judges. And that was your decision to make when you came to Tarrant County with a gun, allegedly. All right.
Sir,
All right. Thank you, Brian. Jeremiah Johnson.
Okay.
Mr. Johnson, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm making a decision with, when a kid's brought here, you have to see a judge within 2 days and have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. Mr. Daniels has been appointed as your attorney. Jeremiah, you're 15 years old. Let's see your history. No history with us. Good. All right, so yes, you were brought in by North Hills for an assault case. They're saying at about 12 o'clock in the morning, they were dispatched of disturbance. When they got there, they saw you outside in the rain, saw that your father had gauze wrapped around his arm with blood coming through it, and mom had redness to her face. You didn't want to tell the police what happened. Your sister told the police that she had witnessed the assault, had pictures of father's injuries. Parents then talked to the police. They said that you went to go to a party and that your father and your mother told you no. You got upset, started throwing things. Then Dad used a door that you had ripped off the hinges earlier as a shield. He was able to wrap you up, but then you bit his forearm, then started hitting him in the face and head. So then you calmed down, he treated his wound, he asked again. Like you made your situation better that they're gonna change their minds. All right, so they asked again, they said no again, and you got even angrier, started throwing things around, said you're gonna kill your dad, then went to the kitchen to grab a knife, but couldn't find one since your sister, kudos on the sister, since his sister hit him. Then so you grabbed a can of soup and started hitting your father with it. You did about 4 times in the head and about 20 times in the head with a fist. Mom tried to stop, then you slapped your mom. Who slaps their mom? So then sister called the police and say the last few weeks, you've been assaulted by you several times, including a large cut above his eyebrow, broken ribs. All right, so do we have mom and dad here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay, this is an absolute mess. So has Jeremiah seen a mental health professional?
No, sir.
There was
Okay.
a can of soup.
I beg your pardon?
The can of soup came in there, but there was no can of soup.
What was any kind of object?
It was a metal, like igloo coffee cup.
Oh, okay.
It was still a metal object, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't make it much better. So, all right. Well, Jeremiah, I'm gonna go and detain you. I'm gonna order a psychiatric evaluation, see if there's any underlying issues. I beg your pardon?
We love you.
Oh, no, there's no question about you loving or not. This is not your decision. This is my decision. So I'm deciding to go and detain him. I think there's bigger issues here, that he's not thinking and acting rationally. So hopefully we can figure this out. And then, Jeremiah, you'll probably see a doctor on Thursday. I think that's when they come in. So just be truthful and forthcoming with the doctor, and then hopefully we can, if he prescribes you medication, you're going to have to take the medication. If you do not, then you will never get to level 1 outstanding, and that means you will never get out of here. All right.
Sir, I'm not.
Hold on a second. Before you talk, hold on a second. All right.
He's
Before you talk,
54 years old.
hold on a second. All right.
He's hitting me.
Hey, do you
How many
want
times?
to talk or do you want to interrupt me?
Treatment as me. I'm not gonna
If you insist on interrupting me,
nothing to him.
then there's really nothing to say.
He gets jail for
Jeremiah, my name is Keith Daniels. I've been appointed to represent you. Don't talk until the judge tells you it's your time to talk, because you're making things worse for yourself. So if you want to talk, raise your hand, and he doesn't want you to explain anything to him. If you have a question, he might answer that. But if you're gonna
like shit, sir, and he expects me not to fight back. When I defend
You know what? Jeremiah,
it's just gonna go like this.
do you think you're helping your situation?
Yes, I do.
Really? Because you think you're convincing me that I should trust you, that I should believe you, when you won't even let me finish my sentence.
He
Like, if
literally
you're not
keeps
showing
doing
me
that
the
shit on
respect to
daily.
let me talk,
He yells
why
at me,
should I
he
give
doesn't
you any
stop.
respect at all?
It's like this, and he doesn't stop.
Are you even listening to me?
Yes,
Or are you
I'm
too busy
listening to you.
talking? Right? Because if you're just gonna keep on talking, why am I even talking? If you're gonna disrespect me like that, do you realize, Jeremiah, there's one person in the world that can make a decision to release you or not? And you're disrespecting me like that by not even
No,
listening, by
disrespecting
talking.
me, sir.
See, you're doing it again. Who do you think you are? You think you're too good for
Nothing
court?
to you.
You think
Nothing
you're
to
too
you.
good for the law? That's not the way it works, Jeremiah. So I'm detaining you.
I do that shit.
What did he say? Security control, what did he say?
Sir, I couldn't understand him. He mumbled under his breath.
Jeremiah, you're almost 16 years old. Stop acting like you're 2. All right, I'm detaining you. You'll see a doctor. We'll see if we can get you help. Thank you.
What does it detain mean?
Detain means you're staying here. That's what detain means.
For how long?
Well, till you grow up. How's that?
I can grow up first try. It's just a matter of fact.
No, you can't. Then grow up. If you can do it, do it. Make it happen.
Plead my way like I'm here for? Or you just treat me like shit like my does?
All right, so using
He's been
offensive
acting
and
like-
profanities in court, I'm
Stop.
gonna find that you're in contempt of court. Is there any reason why I should not proceed to a future proceeding on this determination of contempt?
Jeremiah, hush.
Your Honor,
Dude, I'm already in here for you,
Mr. Daniels.
because of you.
Is there any
You're the
mitigating
reason
factor
I'm in
or
here, and
aggravating
you
factor
don't
I should
stop.
consider in
It's
determining
like
what?
this at home. It's like,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Hold on a
stop. It's an
second.
everyday thing.
Now you're interrupting again, so I might make a second finding of contempt. Mr. Daniels, any aggravating or mitigating factors I should consider in my determination of contempt for this
It
child?
is y'all's fault.
Your Honor, if you would just allow me to call him in detention and explain things to him, I think maybe he will be able to conform his behavior better the next time he appears before you.
I understand. So, Mr. Johnson, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you know a contempt finding in juvenile court. I can incarcerate you for a period of 10 days for every finding of contempt. I'm going to defer this process, allow your attorney to talk to you, consult you about this. Then I'll make my finding later on of what we should do going forward on this one. All right? So, Mr. Johnson, I suggest that you not say anything and that you just step off the screen and then behave, get to level 1 outstanding, and do the best you can. All right, thank you. Mom and Dad,
Thank you.
I don't think I can fully appreciate the situation that you're in. I just want to say I appreciate you too. I really do. Okay.
Sorry that this has happened.
No, this is horrible, and I cannot imagine as a parent what you're going through. There's no question to me that you're doing the best that you can, and so there's just sometimes things are beyond our control. Hopefully, this is a mental health issue that we can get resolved, and that Jeremiah can do well in your home. My goal is to get him in your home as soon as possible, only in a manner that's going to be safe to you too. Okay.
Right.
Thank you, Honor.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Brian Hempill. All right, Ms. Herrick.
Yes, Judge.
All right, we didn't get the written waiver in time. So I had to bring him in here. He's level 1 acceptable, not outstanding. All right,
Okay, he was under the impression that he was going to be level 1.0 today.
Okay. All right, well, best of intentions. All right, so let's see. Brian, 16 years old. So he was on probation for the burglary of a habitation. You had 4 EM violations. You left the house, you cut off the monitor, and while you're on probation and on the run. Let's see. You picked up cases for aggravated robbery and murder 6 days after you cut off your monitor. Ms. Smiley, I don't see, were the details about the aggravated robbery or the murder? Ms. Smiley?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. What did you say?
I don't see in the report any details about the aggravated robbery or the murders.
With the aggravated robbery, Your Honor, that happened on August the 19th at about 10:30 at night.
Okay. All right, Brian, I think she froze up. Look, I know I made a probable cause finding before. Right now, my concern, do we have a parent here for Brian?
I don't think so.
That's fine.
No, Your Honor. If I may, Your Honor, I can advise you about what happened with the murder.
Who is that? If that's Brian, don't talk.
Yes, Ms. Colbert?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
According to, don't know the specific date, Your Honor, but according to the police report, Brian Hemphill and his companion went to the individual's house. Mr. Hemphill laid down in the back seat of a car. Individuals came out. Allegedly, he fired a shot, hitting one of the individuals was hit in the head. The other individual was shot in the leg. The victim was transported to JPS, where he was later pronounced deceased a couple of hours later.
This all happened while he was on probation and had cut off his monitor?
That is correct.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm back, Mr. Colbert. It did, Your Honor. He cut his monitor off August the 14th. The aggravated robbery happened August the 19th, and the murder happened August the 20th.
All right, Mr. Hemphill, I just feel like if I was to release you, you would be a danger to yourself. You would also be a danger to the community, and you would also not likely to appear in court. So I'm going to continue to detain you. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Ms. Miley.
Thanks, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Eric.
Excused?
Yes. All right,
Thank you.
so I think,
Good to see you.
thank you. I think Zanaya Johnson, we're going to do in person later on. Ms. Hopkins had requested that. So we're going to do Zachariah Marshall.
Your Honor, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Reyes.
It's Friday.
It is Friday.
It's always better hearing Mr. Reyes say good morning. I'm sorry. Whether you're in person on Zoom, anyway.
It just makes it a great day.
It does. Even when he's like, good morning, you're about to go to jail and beat again. So, but hey, it just feels better coming from him.
Hey, thank you.
So, see, Zachariah, Ms. Keenan's your attorney. I think she's here.
I'm present, Your Honor.
Yes, this is a 10-day hearing deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. Let's see, Haltom City referred you. They're saying January 23rd. They were dispatched in Northern Cross Apartments. And you're questioned by detectives. Is this the one with the Uber Eats driver?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. And he was on probation for burglary of a vehicle and evading arrest with a motor vehicle. And while you're on probation, you're also smoking marijuana. So, all right, Zachariah, I clearly feel if I was to release you that you would be a danger to yourself and the community. And so I'm going to go ahead and detain you. All right, do we have a parent here from Mr. Marshall?
Your Honor, she was in, but she just called me a few minutes ago. She had difficulties with her phone.
I understand. No, that's fine. I mean, legally, as long as we have an attorney here, I just need a mark on the sheet, whether one was here or not. All right. Thank you, Mr. Marshall.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be dismissed?
Yes. Have a good weekend.
Nice weekend, Your Honor.
And be excused as well.
Thank you, Ms. Keenan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Jimmy Mugaraniza. All right, Jimmy, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day hearing deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, then you have to see a judge every 10 days. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. This is, you're on probation for aggravated robbery. And then January 2nd, there's a robbery call, 2 black veils, walked up to home and pulled a weapon, chambered it, victim complied, took the car. Police tried to chase the car or stop the car. There's a chase, crashed out. And you're positive for marijuana and cocaine while you're on probation. And you're level 2. So if you're level 2, you know I'm not going to release you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and detain you, Jimmy. Thank you.
Your Honor, if I might, I don't know if his mother's here or not, but she had told me she wanted to say something to you.
Is the mother here?
I do not see her, Your Honor.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Well, essentially, Your Honor, she was just going to beg you to let him out on a release. I know he's on level 2, but I wanted to give her a chance to talk. Thank you.
I understand. I appreciate that, Mr. Youngblood.
Have a good weekend, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Samuel Shimirimana. Mr. Lofton, do you have a parent here for Samuel?
No, sir.
so Samuel, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day hearing deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days. Your attorney, Mr. Lofton's here.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so you're level one outstanding. You have been for 2 days now. Forward PD brought you in. Oh, this is the one with Jimmy's case, the one we just did. And you already had pending offenses for theft of a firearm and burglary of a vehicle. And the person said back in May of 2020, someone broke in his car, took a gun out of his car, and it was caught on camera. Knew Samuel because he had hired Samuel before. And so, all right. Well, Samuel, your hearing's coming from March. I'm not. You had a pending case involving a gun, and then you allegedly committed a new offense with a gun. It's not comfortable releasing. I feel like you're a danger to yourself and community. So your hand is raised. I see that. If you have something you want to, if you have a question for me, I don't mind answering. If you have something you want to tell me, your attorney does not want you to talk. So do you have a question for me, or do you want to tell me something?
I got a question.
Okay, what's your question?
How long am I expecting to be in here?
I'm sorry?
How long do I supposed to be expecting to be in here for?
How long are you expecting to be in here for?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. You just got to level 1 2 days ago, right? And then you have another court hearing coming up in March.
Do you see the reason? Do you see the reason they took my points?
No. See, that's the thing is, a lot of times the reason doesn't really matter when on certain types of offenses. So this is a gun offense. You had a pending gun offense. So I am extra cautious in releasing kids. I have to be really, really comfortable. So for a case like yours involving you have a pending theft of firearm, and then now you're arrested for aggravated robbery. It's even if it's just a talking back, even if it's just losing minor points, you're down to 2 acceptable. That gives me an uneasy feeling because I just don't want you pushing the boundaries. If I was to let you go again, I need to know that you'll follow all the rules, like all of them. That's what makes me comfortable. If this is a criminal mischief case, it'd be a whole lot different. Family violence, things like that. But gun crime and pick up a new gun case while you have a gun case going on, this is danger. All right. I just want you to understand what I'm thinking. Thank you. All right, Keith Page.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, have a good weekend, Mr. Lofton.
You and your court team, everybody have a good weekend too. Thank you all for your candor.
It is amazing how many gun cases we have stacked up. Now I do. Oh, like on here or on Facebook? All right, Mr. Page, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day hearing deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you will see a judge every 10 days while you're here. And this is the off-duty Arlington officer at the QT, which 4 kids evidently robbed with a gun. And then, so let me figure out. Ms. Rojas, are you here?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, Ms. Rojas, this Irving dart, is that something that occurred in Dallas County?
Yes, it happened right before the Arlington offense.
On the same date?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see. Before this happened in Arlington, allegedly, about 4:30 in the morning, police were dispatched for robbery. Victim said he was robbed. He was a pilot and was walking to the DART train to the airport. When a sedan approached, stopped, individuals got out, and the female had the pistol. The victim was ordered to the ground. They took his items. The male kicked him twice in the head. Driver never got out. Victim logged in his iCloud account. His phone was tracked for 15 minutes. And the suspect stole the victim's phone, iPad, credit card, and personal documents used for travel. And so, all right, Mr. Page, it looks like you were just here on a crime spree and you just crossed into Tarrant County. I don't know the way Dallas County runs things. There's good judges there. We don't have a parent here, do we?
Yes, Your Honor, we do. Tiffany Page.
Oh, Tiffany Page, okay.
Yes.
And, but I just treat crimes as a judge whenever kids are involved with guns. I just take it with the highest level of seriousness. I'm very cautious when I let them go. So I see that your hand is raised. If you have a question for me, I don't mind answering it. If you want to tell me something, your attorney doesn't want you to say anything. All right, so do you have a question for me or do you want to tell me something?
I want to tell you something.
Yeah. You don't want to tell me anything. This is not your trial. I'm not deciding whether you did anything or not. This is simply about detaining you while your case is pending. All right, but I think you just have to understand, in Dallas County, I know a lot of times with more serious offenses involving guns, the judges, each judge is different and they're not wrong, they're just different. But for me personally, whenever a gun is used, I'm very cautious about it, okay? That's where I'm at. All right, thank you. All right, Destiny Sanchez.
And Your Honor, I'm on Destiny Sanchez as well. The mom was unable to be here because she said she had another appointment with an attorney for another legal issue.
Okay, all right, that's too bad. Okay, Destiny, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's brought to a facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to be silent. You have a right to an attorney. Can't afford one, we'll provide one for you. Mr. Beaver is your attorney. Good morning, Mr. Beaver.
Your Honor. Good morning.
All right, so in Destiny, your mom can't be here because she had another legal matter going on. See, yesterday, police just responded to domestic. Your mom said that she was assaulted by you and that you had left the house. While en route, police located you down the street, detained you. Mom said that you got in trouble at school. She asked about a phone that you weren't supposed to have. She started searching for the phone in your clothes and you started hitting your mom in the face, causing her pain and her nose to bleed. Then you left the house. Mom, at this point, is not ready to have you return home. Destiny, it looks like you just kind of crossed that line with your mom, just went too far. So your parents not here. I don't have anybody to release you to, but overall, Destiny, let me tell you this. On this type of offense, it could be just an emotional lost control. There's no real harm there. It just escalated, or it could be a bigger issue. Thing is I want you to do your best to show me that this is not who you really are. It's just a one-off incident and that you can go back to your life and we don't have to worry about you. But a lot of that is going to start with you healing bridges with your mom, okay? However that happens. I'm not telling you how it's going to happen. I'm just telling you what has to happen. Right? I don't think you necessarily belong here. I don't know more about your history, but just on the face, this could be very simple, but it starts with you, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Destiny.
Thank you.
Corey and Titus. All right, Mr. Titus, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm making a decision whether to keep you here for another 10 days or to release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to be silent. You have a right to an attorney. Ms. Taylor is your attorney. All right, so, see, in December, police pulled over a vehicle on a traffic stop. They smelled weed, searched the vehicle. Behind the front passenger seat where you were sitting, they found a backpack that had firearms. And back in September, police responded to a shooting call, found a victim who had been shot, transported JPS, who was pronounced deceased. Witness gave description of the vehicle. They found casings in the street. Witnesses said the house fired several shots, hit the victim, and fled. Cameras went to the Buttercup Apartments. And the witness says that the first time Mr. Ture fired the shots, second time Decorian fired the shots. All were members of the blood gang. See, at the last hearing, I inquired whether your negative peer interactions in the detention was gang-related. And we could not confirm that. But your co-defendant, Mr. Ture, is affiliated with the Bone Crushing Gorillas. And Forward PD says that you're also a member of that gang. So your level 1 ascending as of today. Mr. Kroll, why did his behavior level drop? How far did it drop?
Your Honor, I'm covering that hearing for Casey today, and I can certainly look that up.
Do we have a parent? Yeah, we have parents here.
Your Honor, it says as of 2/24, he received, I'm sorry, there was a negative peer influence in the classroom, and that was a Roderick Jones. He was just ordered to keep separate from him. His level last went down to 1 acceptable on 128 for a major infraction. And it doesn't say what that is.
May I interject, Judge? I believe that was that fight that you had asked be researched to determine if it was gang related.
Yeah, all right, Decorian. Given the level of offense that you have, how serious they are with the homicides, I have to be absolutely comfortable with releasing you. Seems like a lot of negative stuff. Here's what kind of bothers me about the most recent one we dropped to level 1 acceptable, is that we have the do not associate orders here at detention. There's a kind of two purposes to that. One is to see if you can follow instructions, but two, whether you can accept the idea that adults will decide who you talk to and who you not talk to. My concern is, if I was to release you, one of my big concerns, if I was to release you, is that you go back to your parents and your parents say, don't hang around Jimmy over there because Jimmy's a bad guy. And then you hang out with Jimmy, right? You're just going to do what you're going to do, affiliate with who you want to affiliate with, especially since you have gang ties. I don't want to put your parents in a situation where they have to babysit you 24/7 and handcuff themselves to you to make sure you don't run off. If you can't follow the DNAs here in our facility, then I cannot trust you when you go home. All right. So this is why I'm going to detain you, because I have to be extra careful about your case. Mom, your hand is raised. Do you have a question for me?
Yes, me and his dad, we don't stay together, so he's going to his dad's house.
Okay. Yeah, I'm afraid your son is just going to do what he wants to do. And so it's just, the seriousness of this case is so great that I have to be extra cautious. He's looking at, I believe, 5 counts of homicide. All right. And so how many, Ms. Taylor?
Just one body, Judge.
Oh, just one body. Okay.
That's right. And I mean, I'm a little concerned about the gang. In the first page in the summary of what happened, Fort Worth PD reports that they're all members of the blood gang. And then in looking into it a little bit more, turns out one of them has no gang affiliation. He's 16. He's been in here a long time. His family's been here every single time. And I understand the court. I'm not arguing with you, Judge. I wouldn't even think of arguing with you, but just for Decorian's mental being, and I know I'm not going to ask you to make any promises, but a level 2, he's not set until April 15th. And that's pretty much a checkup docket. I don't think anything meaningful is going to happen for months and months. If he can hold level 1 outstanding for the next 2 weeks, could the court, again, I'm not asking you to pre-rule, but could the court seriously consider releasing this child on a monitor to go live in his father's house? I've researched these areas as to where he'd be living and where he'd be staying, and he would not be in any area, gang-related areas, certainly nowhere near the offense location.
So Decorian, let me explain the way I'm thinking on these cases, because it's a homicide case. It's a case involving a gun, all right? And so I'm very concerned. What the threshold in my mind is not a set number, it's a impress me. Okay, I want to be impressed. So part of the things that you have going for you is you have no major history with our department. And I look at that every single time. You've had 1 supervisory caution. Okay. Now, on the other hand, I see that you pop positive for weed, which you shouldn't have been smoking. You know that. But that's not what I'm losing sleep over. What I want to see is looking at your case that you have been level 1-0, because it tells me the date you made level 1-0, that you've been level 1-0 for a period of time where I'm just like, wow. All right, that means, because I understand it's hard to keep level 1O. If you drop down to level 1 acceptable, it gives me, it starts over again. So if it's one of those, you're bouncing back between O and A, that tells me, hey, look, he's still having issues following all the rules, okay? But if I'm looking here and I'll see a kid where they're level 1O for 2 months, 3 months, I'm like, you know, what more can we do for this kid? This kid has got it. Like, because I'm not keeping you here to punish you. I am literally keeping you here to keep you safe and to keep the community safe and to make sure you return to court. I'm not worried about you coming to court. Your parents will get you here. What I'm worried about is you think that you know more than your parents and you're not going to follow their rules and you're going to go out and do something stupid. Right? Let me finish. I'll let you ask a question. So that's what I'm saying is I can't give you a number because I have to be impressed. You know, if let's say the whole facility, let's say the power went out, everyone's in lockdown and everyone gets level 1O for 3 weeks straight. Well, that doesn't impress me because nobody had a choice, right? So I can't give you a hard number because it really depends on what's going on. If I see things like, there was one time where a kid got jumped back there and he didn't fight back because he's like, you know what? I have nothing to do with this. That impressed me because he said, I'm going to follow the rules no matter what. Even if I get harmed, I'm following the rules because the rules are the rules, right? That's what I'm looking for. Is I'm looking at these detention hearings for me to look at Decorian's page and say, there is nothing that we can do at detention to keep him safer. Like he will be safe. He's not going to, the community be safe. We'll be okay if I let him go. Does that give you more insight into what I'm thinking? Okay, so your hand is raised. You have a question for me?
He said something about my mom. Like, I'm always respectful to both of them, my mom and my dad. So I don't know.
Well, so this is where I'm going to disagree with you because I'm pretty sure your mom and dad didn't approve of the people you were hanging out with, right? And when I'm saying respectful, it's not just a yes or no, ma'am, please and thank you while you're in the house. This is what my mom and dad want, so I'm going to do what they want because they're my mom and dad, because I respect their opinion. That they don't have to micromanage you, they don't have to approve of every decision, that you're going to respect them by your actions. Does that kind of make more sense?
Yes,
so I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I think maybe my perspective is a little different than yours when I say respect. I don't think you're rude to your parents. I'm looking at your mom and your dad. I don't think they really tolerate your an attitude. Okay. What I'm saying is I don't think you're predicting what they want from you and expect from you and doing that ahead of time. Okay. Okay. Hopefully that explains a little bit more. But Ms. Taylor, to answer your question, yes, I always consider, especially as the cases get older, it becomes more and more concerning to me. I don't like kids here. It's just when the offense is so serious, it's just really hard for me. I think that's just something where, you know, I think if you look at the history of this court, I think Ethan Couch taught us what the community expects from anytime there's a homicide. And I think TK tells us what the community expects when every time there's, you know, firearms or violent behavior. And so I'm just kind of deferring to what I think the community is expecting from us. All right. All right. Thank you, Decorian.
All right. Bye, Mom.
All right. So last one we're going to do in person is Anaya Johnson. So I think Ms. Hopkins is here. I think who is our attorney for the day?
I am, Judge.
Taylor. Yeah, so Ms. Hopkins is in the courtroom. So have a great weekend.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Turn this so you can see. Did it really break? Did it fall apart? Did it? Oh, okay.
It's tough hurt, but.
Okay. I got craft glue at home.
Yeah. No lights for now. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. All right, Zanaya. This is a detention hearing. So your attorney asked for this hearing. I'm just deciding whether to keep you or release you. So we had a problem over at Millwood, and then we had a problem with the officer, and then there was here. And you're on CPS custody. I have Dallas. I think we have a CPS worker here on Zoom. And Ms. Hopkins, you asked for this hearing. So for what purpose?
For you to reconsider her being detained in dismissal.
Okay.
When we were here the last time, you said other than that incident that she had with the guard here, she would have been released. If you recall in that hearing, I also asked one question. Is she on her meds? The answer to that is no. No, she hadn't been on any of her psychotic meds for more than 12 days. And prior to that time period when she was at Millwood, why was she at Millwood? To have her meds adjusted. Why was she having her meds adjusted at Millwood? Because another 12 days before that, she was at Children's in Dallas, being treated for COVID and intestinal disorder. And while she was there, if you and I were in that lobby, we would have seen a 19-year-old male lead her out some doors and return after having a sexual assault. This girl has been through a tremendous amount in the last 60, 90 days without her medication.
So that happened when?
That happened
At JPS?
at Children's,
At Children's, okay.
in January. Now, she's not on her meds. This is an individual who, when she is on her meds, will give you multiple warnings. You're triggering me. Don't do that. Stop away. CPS will tell you that they jump back because they know.
So when's the last time she was consistently on her medication?
This morning, and not even consistent,
Yeah.
because the doctor didn't want her to start her because she had been here in our facility without meds for so long. They didn't even have the list of her medications that she was on until Wednesday afternoon. The doctor wasn't consulted until Thursday. That was yesterday. And that's why I'm before you today, because we need to understand what she has been through and why. And ask the question, if she was on her meds, would she have had that incident with the guard here? Would she have done any of the things
I
that she had
understand.
done?
No, I think that's a question for the case that she's. So now, when's the last time you were taking her, you're giving her medication like you're supposed to?
The 14th
Of
February.
February? And how many days were you on your medication then? You remember? I mean, was it like a week or was it just a couple days?
It was like
A week, about a week, but not much longer than that. You have a problem with your medication? Like, do you not like it? Do you not want to take it?
No, they wasn't giving it to me.
Okay, but otherwise, I mean, otherwise, if they give it to you, you don't have a problem taking it, do you? Like, you think you're gonna have a problem in here as long as you're getting your meds? I mean, you'll be able to follow the rules in here, right? All right, so we have the department here. I think you're on mute.
Your Honor, if I may add one thing while CPS supervisor is coming on the phone. They have actively been looking for a placement for her. I received an 11-page document of places that they have been looking for her to go to. They are currently considering an out-of-state placement for her behavioral and her mental issues.
So is there a place for her to go right now?
I believe there will be a place for her to go this afternoon where she can go to either Dallas Behavioral or back to Millwood. And then from there, she would, whenever this out-of-state paperwork is approved, she will then go to that facility.
Brenda, are you hearing that?
I spoke with Miss Hopkins last evening at length about all of Zania's history. And I wouldn't agree with exactly the way she's translated it in some respect. Some respect it is correct. She didn't include that we do have some difficulty with Zania, and it's also listed in the Millwood information, refusing her medicine, some of it. She doesn't like to take the Klonopin.
But Brenda, I just, let me pause. So
Okay.
this is Ms. Littlefield, this isn't really an evidentiary hearing. Like, I'm not weighing out the facts. Detention hearings are about keeping or releasing the child. I'm presumed to release them unless they're a danger to themselves, danger to others, or likely to not appear in court. Okay, those are the factors. There's a whole bunch of other things that kind of bleed in, but they're not really focus points for us for the juvenile court. So my concern right now, right, is of course, we don't want any kids here ideally, but sometimes they just have to stay here. My first question is there a place for her to go if I was to release her?
No.
Okay, and why not, and for how long?
Okay, one of the things that I sent her was a list of placements that she had been.
You said that?
I sent that to Miss Hopkins. The list of placements. Those are all the placements she's been. Those are the places where she has only lasted a week or two because of, there's a problem. She either runs away or has an argument or the police have to come. We've been in and out since she was released from Dallas detention in July. Most of those placements above that on the list are where she's been. And that
Ms. Littlefield, I mean, you're kind of beating it at a horse. Like, I get it. I understand it's hard to place.
Sorry, we don't have placement. We've been in placement for a long time. We are resorting to out-of-state placement. We don't have one right now.
So my question was, if we don't, why not, and for how long? How long will it take to find an out-of-state placement?
I cannot say for sure. Probably several weeks.
Okay, that's not acceptable.
I understand.
I can't keep her for several weeks because we don't know what the solution is. Ms. Hopkins?
When she would be released, what would happen is we would
Ms. Hopkins, Ms. Littlefield. Ms. Hopkins,
Okay.
hold on 1 second, please.
I understand.
Yes. Right. Right. So Ms. Littlefield, and this is what I don't like about these hybrids because I end up repeating everything. So what Ms. Hopkins is saying is, at this point, the department is a PMC. And so if I was to just say, come pick her up, you would have to, and she would be in an office somewhere, which is not what I want. Nobody wants that, right? So Ms. Hopkins is saying, it's possible that if we did that, then she may go back to Dallas Behavioral in the interim, but I'm trying to figure out, and the place my heart is at, is I want what's best for young Miss Johnson. But I cannot treat our juvenile detention as an RTC. It is not an RTC. And so while it is technically a safer place for the child than certain alternatives, it is not, I don't look at, it's not a permanent solution and it's not even a temporary solution because I don't believe it's a solution for a lot of department situations. I think it's an emergency, I guess, I'm even looking for the right word, almost like an emergency stopgap measure, like when the system fails for one reason or another, that we have juvenile detention facilities, but I don't look at this as a place as any kind of solution to the problems, especially the kind of problems that Zania has. So I can't do months, Ms. Littlefield. Like your counterparts will tell you that I'm tough on the department, but I'm also, like, I try and be reasonable, but months is just not reasonable. If it was months, I would actually probably sanction the department to pay the Tarrant County back for our detention for holding her for months,
Yes,
which
sir.
actually amount to about $30,000 a month. All right, so.
Well, we can go hard at it, and if you'll give us 2 weeks.
big ask. I'm not going to commit to 2 weeks. What I'll do is I'll commit to a week. Let's reassess it next Friday.
Okay, and we'll see what we can do too.
Okay. Hopefully that's being fair to you guys too, that I'm not saying no, but I'm not saying yes either. So let's reassess this. Zanaya, let me explain this to you. This doesn't hurt your situation because I was going to make you stay anyways, see if you can take your meds and just, you've been kind of unpredictable here, right? So now that you have your meds, I want to make sure that you're taking it, that you're not causing problems, that you have access to the doctors, that we can just adjust, right? Because evidently you're a lot stronger than people think you are, right? And so it was going to be a week anyways to get to level 1 outstanding and to make sure everything's right. So we're going to have another one next Friday, right? Do you prefer in person or on Zoom? Or what do you prefer? I'm giving you a choice. This way? Okay. So we'll come back and we'll do in person next Friday. And then Ms. Littlefield, the supervisor, is going to have to tell me what effort she's made to find a placement for you, okay, a place for you to go. And so they're looking at out of state. I don't know where or what options they have. But they're going to have to tell me. And I may give them more time. I may not give them more time. That's really just depends on what they say. Okay. So I'm not making promises to you or to Ms. Hopkins or to Ms. Littlefield or anybody. All I'm saying is we're going to come back a week from now. We'll look at everything again with fresh eyes and decide. And that also has more information for me on how you're behaving back here. Like if you're doing well back here, then that changes things compared to if you're doing bad. Okay? Do you have any questions for me, Zanaya? Okay. All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Littlefield, do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, Ms. Hopkins? Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So we'll give her a medication. If she needs, other medical treatment or so on, we can arrange that. But it seems like Zanaya says she doesn't really have a problem with her medication as much as she just didn't have access to it. So hopefully that may make a positive difference. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. And thank you, Ms. Ayala as well.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. All right, that'll conclude detention docket for Friday. Everyone have a great weekend.
Thank you.
No.
Well, this week is gonna.
It has, hasn't it? Yeah.